All right, now we got the monetization down. Okay, this is the future, gentlemen. In one way or another, this is going to be the future of relationships, because it's going to be hard for you to convince women who have had their mind set on that they were going to work, that they're not going to find that they need to be compensated in some sort of way. Now, it's not going to happen to everybody, but guys, this already happens in the high-end areas. Men that have trophy wives, they certainly do have the allowances to compensate them. You're seeing this now in dating. You're seeing women that are now upwardly mobile who own their own home, saying a guy has to be this level or above. He has to bring value. He has to have some worth. And you'll even find that if she has kids, she then starts to modify and quantify what she loses if she takes work time off. All right. So she'll even try to say, well, you know, you better have a nanny. That's monetized. So if you have a certain amount of income and she has her baby, she was like, well, I'm going to keep working because I like my job. So have a nanny. She don't plan on paying for that nanny. Maybe she does. Okay. But I hear these things all the time, and I hear other people go through these things, and people do these things. These are the relationships. These are the so-called relationships that you have that you say, I want something genuine. But genuine don't pay the bills. Genuine does not pay the bills. So in this situation here, what we have is coochie communism. So the coochie communism, if you think about how systems work, you have democracy, republic, communism, socialism. You have a bunch of different type of ways things work out. For the technical term, the United States is a republic, but they also have a democratic arm to it. The Roman Empire was democratic before it became an empire, right? They had an emperor. Okay. You also have communism, communist societies that probably started off with a little bit of socialism, and then the socialism fell apart, and then it went into communism. All right. And then you have communism that countries typically don't start off communistic. They start off socialist, and then they morph into communism to try to rehab the damage. There are people still trying to make socialism work. So understand, there are people hell-bent trying to make socialism work. They're like, hey, these countries tried it. It just didn't work. So if we tried to morph it, we can make it work. But everybody that's tried to do that, socialism, to make it work, it ends up becoming communism. All right. So it's a sad reality. But what coochie communism does is in the relationship marketplace, you have a lot of men that are losers. The losers basically do not fall. They do not get a chance. All right. So losers don't get a chance. They don't get a chance to multiply. They get survival of the fittest. They drop out. Then above the losers, you have scumbags. Above the losers, you have scumbags. Now, scumbags have had success at some point with women. Some point with women, they've had success. Now, what they'll do is they'll try to ride the success out. They'll try to ride the success out to some sort of long-term success. All right. And so what they'll do is say, at some point in my dating career, I never had to pay. I never had to trick. I never had to simp. I never had to blah, blah, blah. I got pussy for free. I got laid on the weekends. And so what they'll do is they'll start this off at 21, 18, 16, and they'll try to stretch that out as long as they can. Then what they'll do is, to keep themselves afloat in the marketplace, they'll ensure that you do the same. Even if you don't have the skill, the build, the status, or the ability of them. Even if they lose their status, they try to intimidate you in a communistic way to do the same. So they'll come up with terminology, simp, trick, all of these things to bully you. It's similar to this. In the urban communities, they have a thing called no snitch. The no snitch policy in these urban communities basically say, we're not going to tell the police about any crimes that we have in this community. Now, the person that tells you this is normally a criminal, cocksucker, a criminal. The person they're telling to no snitch is normally not a criminal. So the person then that bullies you into the no snitch street rule benefits because they continue to bully you, who is not a criminal. So they get to commit crimes against you, but you don't snitch, or they commit crimes against your family or the neighborhood or the community. And they continue to benefit from this street politics, which is communism. But they'll tell you, hey, to be cool, we don't snitch around here, but you don't commit crimes. Okay, so I don't commit crimes. So what does the no snitch rule benefit me? I don't benefit from it. You benefit from it. But they got you subjugated and bullied and squashed by intimidating you to some sort of street law or honor or code that doesn't benefit you. So now you're bullied to not snitch on the criminals, but you're living an honest life. So now you got to be silent against crimes committed against you so you can be cool with the niggas that have the no snitch policy. Now, the people who don't commit crimes normally don't come up with policies of no snitch. It's the niggas that commit crimes that come up with the policies to no snitch. So it's a one-sided deal. Let me go back. Coochie commies do the same thing. All right, niggas, we ain't going to pay for these broads. We ain't going to take them out. We going to give them Burger King, coffee dates, walk dates. That's what we going to do, niggas. And we going to keep these hoes in line. So now they go out, no job, committing crimes, scamming, living at their mama's house, living above poverty, twin mattress, air mattress, ashy ass feet and knees, long ass toenails, yellow toenails, crooked teeth. They go out and they take the whole neighborhood and they run this game on them. Then they bully you for doing anything different. Okay, nigga, why you take her out to a restaurant? Why you pay her for pussy? Why are you simping? Why are you tricking? Okay, first of all, I have a job. I don't be outside all day. I have better things to do with my time. I don't prioritize pussy. I work 60 hours a week. I commute to hour of work. I don't be at the nightclub till 2:30 and 3 in the morning. So you just took an advantage of being a low-class scavenger nigga doing nothing all day but chasing pussy, trying to bring me down, but I don't have the same advantage. It's a one-sided deal. I got a regular job. I make an honest living. I earn way more money than you, nigga. I make $500,000 a year. Nigga, you make $20,000 a year. I got to go to sleep at 9 to be at work at 5. I got a I don't have a twin mattress. I live in an upper scale apartment. So why am I living by your rules? When you a scavenger, coochie commie nigga, you're going nowhere in life. I make $500,000 a year. Not saying I do, but I make $500,000 a year. I live in a loft apartment in New York City. Why am I taking bitches to Burger King? Because coochie communism. So the coochie commie is going to come up with all kind of rules and definitions to keep telling you you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, nigga. You overpaying, nigga. You doing but I can't afford to go to the nightclub Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't have time for that. I can't stay outside and cold approach 100 women. I'm at work. I can't walk up to people like that. I have a reputation. I can't let bitches like this up into my apartment. She a strag. So what they do is they convince you to play by a set of rules that advantages them and disadvantages you. So then when you try to do opposite, like, well, here's my point. I'm not defending tricking, simping, or any of this. But what you'll find is they'll be the loudest voice to get you to comply to a rules that you can't compete with. You don't have the time. See, a real man approaches 100 women. You cold approach them. You hit them on the bus stop. You hit them on the subway. Okay, I'm in traffic, bro. I'm not on the subway. I'm not at the bus stop. I'm not on the tube. I'm not at the club. I'm not at parties. You see what I mean? I have responsibility. I can't do that because that benefits you. So that it's a way to keep dudes on code to keep the marketplace as low as then they can compete and you can't. Okay. So they can't travel. They got felonies. They owe child support. So when you travel, they mad at you. They can't afford a $1,500 ticket. They can't afford the hotel. So when you do it, you are a traveling trick or a traveling simp, whatever they want to call it. But they never gonna take their ass on the airplane and go anywhere. That's coochie communism. So as to disadvantage the person that has the ability, they come up with things to actually sway you to not do it. All right. So a real man don't do it that way. A real man makes sure she pay. Okay, but you're a guy that can't afford a date. So you would depend on the 50-50. You see what I mean? That's coochie communism, which is going to be difficult for men to accept. It's like, okay, well, why are you making me feel bad for doing it? Why are you making me feel bad for doing it when you had, it's a difference if they say, I could do it. I could do it, but I would never. But you going to these third world countries and you doing this. Okay, but are you going to the third world country? What you will find is they can't go to the third world country. They can't afford to go to the third world country. They can't afford to go to another state. They couldn't afford it. So what they do is jump on the internet and then convince you as to not to do it. You shouldn't do it. Well, you can't do it. It's the difference. Now, let me turn off over here to this young lady here. Okay. Okay, let me take you over here. But so young men get talked out of things and older men get talked out of things. It's really just revolves around where you put your dick. All right. And men then try to regulate and dick police how it works. Now, my philosophy typically doesn't do any much level of dick policing, although I will tell you, y'all with low quality women. Okay. All right, you're with low quality women, so I do want to just shine a mirror on the type of shit you're doing. I ain't gonna stop you because they low quality women know how to fuck too. So a lot of low quality women produce children, as we see here. A lot of low quality women get married. So I can't tell you to not marry a certain woman because she looks a certain way. You might like that. You might like that, but that's you. But then what I'm going to tell you to do is do not come over here and tell me that I'm with some woman that looks fake or duck lips or white or whatever the hell you want. Do not come over on my side telling me who to date. A lot of low quality women can get knocked the fuck up here. All right. So that's that. If you go to Walmart, there's a lot of strags with babies. And there's a ninja breeding her like a cow. Moo. When he nuts in her, she moves. So I can't stop dudes from doing that. But what I'm saying is when you do this, please don't brag. That's all I say. Don't brag. Nigga, don't brag that you out here, ninja. And as a matter of fact, just so y'all know, we only doing receipts only. Okay. I dropped all my receipts. This is why I told y'all to subscribe to my channels. Okay. Hold on for a second. All right. I've dropped my receipts. Only receipts talk, man. Only receipts talk. So we ain't telling me I do this and I do that. Nigga, receipts. All right. We only printing receipts here. I dropped my receipts all weekend on the Notorious CGA channel. That's why I tell you guys, follow all my channels. You never know when I'm going to go ham. For the people that saw them, you saw my receipts. They're gone. You can't see them. They're off the internet now. You missed it if you missed it. But we only showing receipts here. We're only showing what you're doing. We show our work. You want to do long division? Show me that work. You want to pass the exam? You can't just put the answer at the bottom, right, Larry C? You can't put the answer at the bottom. Or I figured it out in my head. Nah, it's only receipts. If you're a content creator, receipts only. I don't want to hear, well, I can't show and I don't want to show and there's legalities. Nah, nigga, we ain't playing none of that games over here, bruh. There's no debate. There's no debate on tactics and strategies and shit. Nope. There's no debates. Receipts only. I've dropped my receipts, so I don't want to hear y'all niggas complaining. And we only showing people we fucking, not women you standing next to. Okay? You got to put your dick in the woman. Okay? Okay? Not bitches, look at me standing next to this pretty girl, and I'm not leaning in. We're not doing that, fam. These niggas ain't got receipts. And you only got receipts because you got money. Hey, ninja, all men pay. Stop coochie communism in us. Fuck the coochie communism. We told you this in the free agent lifestyle, bruh. We free out here. Just because you ain't got the money, nigga, don't mean it. See, what I find with these coochie commies, like most communism, they don't have money. They never have money to back up anything. They always need the bread and the soup, and they always need to stand at the soup kitchen. And the reality is, I have never heard a man say, I'm worth millions of dollars and I will never pay. I'm worth $500,000 and I will never pay. I've never heard this. I heard coochie commies say they wouldn't pay. And I say, well, that's interesting. Because you can't afford anything. You can't afford anything. So it's easy to say I couldn't pay for something. That's like saying I'm going to the Bugatti dealership and I see a nigga buying a Bugatti and I walk in there and say, I wouldn't pay that much for a car. Of course you can't pay that much for a car, nigga. You ain't got the money. What's the point of me going in the Bugatti dealership telling another nigga not to buy a Bugatti? If he got the money, he got the money. Telling him to not buy it because I can't buy one is irrelevant. So it's easy to say why you wouldn't do shit because you can't. It's easy to say why you wouldn't go to Brazil and fuck because you can't. Your passport is revoked. Your passport is suspended. It's easy. All right. Let's play this video here of a young woman who's on the monetized dating marketplace. All right, I thought you would find